Hey, Creations by Courtney here, back with another crochet tutorial. Today we are going to be working on the embossed wedge stitch. Now, I wasn't familiar with this and you may not be familiar with it, but I found in one of my stitch dictionary books, which I think are some of the best things to have in your physical or your digital library. And it is such a fun stitch that makes a really thick, squishy fabric, which I use for the Berry Cozy Cowl. So I will be using worsted weight yarn and a size K or 6.5mm hook, and I'll share those details with you once we get started. Don't forget to check out the stitch abbreviation, and again, I'll explain it as we work together, and we're just gonna make a little swatch so that you can practice and then use it for whatever you want. So get your yarn, get your hook, and let's get started. Alright, so we're going to get started on the embossed wedge. And this one is worked flat, but if you're familiar with the Berry Cozy Cowl, it is worked in the round, and I will have a separate tutorial for that. So we're going to start with making this in flat and turned rows. So I'm going to be using Brava worsted weight. This is some that I have left over from doing my Brighter Days Tunisian blanket. This is the lovely purple. They call it mulberry. And I'm going to be using my Furl Streamline Sagittarius hook in a size K, which is 6.5mm. So let's pull some yarn out to get started. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to do a foundation half double crochet. Foundation stitches are my favorite way to start, as well as show what it looks like if you do a row of just chain, then half double crochet. So let's start with the chain, because some people may be more comfortable with that. So we're going to be working a multiple of 4 plus 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's a multiple of 4, and then plus 3. So that's 13, 14, and 15. So you're going to start in the third chain from the hook. The first 2 will count as the first half double crochet. I always like to work into the back bump. So you yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. And just half double crochet in each chain across, and you should have a total of 13. So with this, we can see the stitches a little clearer. So I'm actually going to cut the yarn and set this off to the side, because again, I like to do foundation half double crochet, but we will have it for reference. Okay, so that is out of the way. All right, so if you want to do foundation half double crochet, again, we start with a slip knot. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2, yarn over, insert your hook in the second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, you'll have 3, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's your first foundation half double crochet. All right, so you're going to yarn over, going to work through the chain of the first stitch, and you're going to want to go under both loops. So I'm bringing that in. Go under both loops, yarn over, pull up a loop. This is for the chain, yarn over, pull through 1, chain made, yarn over, pull through all 3. So we did 13 for the first one. Oh, we forgot to count. Ha! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so it should be a multiple of 4 plus 1. So continue to make your foundation half double crochet until you have 13. All right, so let's make sure we have enough. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so you want a multiple of 4 plus 1. So this is the foundation row, but the fun starts now with rows 2 and 3. And no matter what size of a project you want to make, you want to repeat rows 2 and 3. So we're going to chain 2. This counts as a half double crochet throughout the entire pattern. And we're going to work around the first half double crochet of the row below. So that's the thing about foundation stitches. You get the same loops, but I know for some, because of the chain at the bottom, it could be confusing. So if we compare it to this and we look as if we're turning our work, the post is just a little clearer. So if you're not comfortable with half double crochet, foundation half double crochet, make sure you start with a chain. Okay, so we are going to make a cluster. So the cluster is a front post double crochet, front post treble crochet, front post double treble crochet around the stitch below, right? So we're not working in the stitch, but we're working around the post of the stitch below. So for this first one, we will be working right here to make that front post double crochet. Okay, and now we're going to do a front post treble crochet. And now a front post double crochet. So that's 3 double treble. So that is 3 yarn overs. All right, and we have our first wedge. And again, this is the first stitch. Okay, so this is for the first stitch. We're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3, work into the next one by making a half double crochet. All right, so first wedge, half double crochet, and this is really the repeat, is half double crochet and then make a cluster, and then we end with a half double crochet at the end. Or you can think of it, I have it written as skip 3 on the current round and the round below, and then you will make the half double crochet, then cluster. But you know, you can always think of it whichever way works best for you. So we're going to make another cluster. So before doing so, let's make sure we are working around the right post, okay? So it is tempting to work around here, but we want to make sure that we're actually working around the right one. So this is the first stitch, right? And it helps to stretch your work out so you can see. So this is 1, 2, and then 3. So actually we're going to work around this post, which is to the right of the half double crochet and not this one, okay? Because if you don't put it in the right spot, you will run out of half double crochets to work around on the row below. So right here between these fingers, this is the post that we're going to work around. So we're going to make another cluster, which is a front post double crochet, front post treble crochet, and front post double treble. And that's what makes the cluster. Just like that. Now we're going to skip 3. So 1, 2, 3. So you can either count the V's, or I like to turn my work so I can kind of see the space at the top of the stitch. 1, 2, 3. We'll skip those, half double crochet into the next stitch. All right. And again, if you're right-handed, that the stitch, the row below is slightly to the right. If you're left, it will be slightly to your left. Left-handed, excuse me. So front post double, front post treble, front post double treble. All right, 1, 2, 3, and then half double crochet at the end into the last stitch. All right, so that is row 1. And this one's going to be a little loose on that first row. The first row is really the hardest, and it may help to use stitch markers so that you know how many stitches to skip. But let's turn our work for row 3. All right, chain 2, that counts as the half double crochet. And then we're going to work around the post of the half double crochet of the row below. So make your first cluster. All right, and we're going to skip 3. So again, this is the first stitch, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work here, which again is the half double crochet from this side. So when we're right-handed, the top of the stitch is actually to the right. If you're left-handed, it's to your left. And so that's one way to help make sure that you put it in the right spot. So from the backs of the stitch, it looks like a chain. So half double crochet after you skip 3, and then repeat. Cluster, skip 3, half double crochet, cluster, skip 3, half double crochet. All right, and that last half double crochet is going to go into the top of the first one of the row below, which is also the chain 2. And there you go. That is the wedge stitch, right? So just repeat row 2 and row 3. So continue to repeat that. Well, actually, it's a 1 row repeat. I'm sorry, I've been saying 2 row repeat because I'm thinking of the cowl where you change colors. But honestly, it's a 1 row repeat. So just do a few of those, and then we'll meet back once we have a slightly larger piece of fabric. There isn't a finishing row, but what I liked was doing half double crochets after the last row in order to just even it out, because this is so thick and squishy that it just looks unfinished and open. All right. So we're back. We've done a few rows. I'll bring that in so you can really see the texture. And then I think this stitch really pops when you use 2 colors, but it makes this nice dense fabric. almost double-sided like a thermal stitch, but a little more airy. When you stretch it out, you can kind of see the wedges and everything. So it's like little cups. So you don't have to do this, but I thought it was nice. Again, this is a lovely edge, but if you wanted to kind of finish this off so that it looks similar to the foundation row, you could just work half double crochet in each stitch across. So make sure that you skip that one because the chain 2 counts as the first stitch. And yeah, that's all there is to the embossed wedge stitch, which is featured in the Berry Cozy Cowl. That link will be below, as well as where you can get your own Brava worsted weight or your own Furls Crochet Streamline Sagittarius. And I love all their hooks, and I have to say, I think this is like my most favorite colorway of the Galaxy series, because if you know your girl, I love purple. If you hadn't picked up on it, between the hook and the yard, even sometimes my hair and my website. So again, it's just an option. You don't have to, but I think it adds a nice little touch to it, or you can even do whatever stitch you want to fasten it off if you want. So I hope you've enjoyed making the embossed wedge with me. Make sure you check out the tutorial for working it in the round, which is the method used for the Berry Cozy Cowl. And yeah, keep stitching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below so you don't miss out on any future crochet tutorials, working crochet patterns with me, or even fiber fashion styling.